Cook. And here's Cook to the 10, to the 5, to the end zone.
Running backs are still really useful. You need good ones. They're just not as important as they used to be. And today, I guess we're taking a little bit of a look at how each team values the running back position. The running back position is devaluing more and more each year. That said, having a game-changing runner in your backfield still makes winning a lot easier. You still need a balanced offense to win in today's pass-happy NFL league. So with that said, let's dive into our 2023 edition of all 32 teams' RB1s from worst to first.
Just trying to get back to work with this new team, new journey, and, just work every day, take it day by day.
Number 32, Rashad White, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay had the league's worst rushing offense in 2022, averaging a woeful 76.9 yards on the ground per game. Their leading rusher of 2022, Leonard Fournette, was released following a down year. That makes White the lead RB in Tampa's backfield. He averaged 3.7 yards per carry and had just 481 rushing yards and 1 rushing TD last season. Number 31, Raheem Mostert, Miami Dolphins. Having an injury-prone 31-year-old as your lead RB is an interesting call, to say the least. But Mostert did produce last year in South Beach, rushing for a career-high 891 yards to go along with 3 TDs. Mostert ranks low here because Jeff Wilson Jr. and rookie Devon Chain figured to get their fair share of touches in Mike McDaniel's RB by committee system. Number 30, James Cook, Buffalo Bills. As a number 2 RB last year behind Devin Singletary, Cook had 507 rushing yards. If Buffalo gives him the vast majority of carries, Cook could exceed 1,000 yards. But Sean McDermott will run Josh Allen a lot, and veterans Damien Harris and Latavius Murray will likely get a decent workload as well. Number 29, Cam Akers, Los Angeles Rams. Akers suited up for 15 games last season and turned in his best campaign yet, rushing for 786 yards and 7 touchdowns. With Matthew Stafford coming off an injury-filled year, you do wonder if Sean McVay will want to transition to a more balanced offense, which could mean another career year for Akers. Number 28, James Conner, Arizona Cardinals. Conner has rushed for over 700 yards in 3 consecutive seasons, but it's his production in the passing game that makes him a fantasy darling. He exceeded 1,000 yards of offense in both 2021 and 2022, posting a career-high 18 total touchdowns in the former year. Conner only ranks this low because you figure his production will drop with Kyler Murray still sidelined. Opposing offenses will likely stack the box a lot more on Conner and the ground game and dare Colt McCoy to beat him with his arm. Number 27, Javonte Williams, Denver Broncos. Williams unfortunately suffered a torn ACL in Week 4 of last season. We saw what he's capable of back in 2021 when he rushed for 903 yards as a rookie. A Sean Payton-coached offense will always run the ball aplenty. Williams could easily hit 1K if he's healthy, but the injury concern in the signing of Samaje Perine leaves us unsure of exactly how much action he'll see. Number 26, Alexander Madison, Minnesota Vikings. As an understudy to Dalvin Cook, Madison put up over 400 yards in rushing in 2019, 2020, and 2021. Now that Cook is with Aaron Rodgers in Gotham, Madison is the undisputed RB1 in Minnesota. That said, it's kind of unfair to put him any higher than this since, well, Madison has yet to endure the workload of a starting running back. But hey, stay tuned. Number 25, Messiah Pacheco, Kansas City Chiefs. Pacheco was one of the biggest surprises of 2022. The 7th-round pick out of Utah emerged as KC's lead running back and finished with 830 yards and 5 touchdowns, helping KC to their 2nd Super Bowl title in 4 years. Thing is, KC will always be a pass-first offense with Patrick Mahomes, and Andy Reid loves giving his RBs a share of the pie. Don't forget, they still have 2020 first-round pick Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Number 24, Brian Robinson Jr., Washington Commanders. In just 12 games last season, Robinson Jr. rushed for 797 yards and a pair of touchdowns. If he plays a full season, who knows just how far Robinson Jr. will go. But we also can't sleep on 4th-year product Antonio Gibson. He is 2 years removed from a 1K season, so Ron Rivera could very well split the workload between the two. Number 23, Khalil Herbert, Chicago Bears. Incredibly, Herbert had 731 rushing yards in 2022, and that wasn't even top 2 on his team. QB Justin Fields actually led the way with 1,143, with David Montgomery behind him at 801. In terms of skill, Herbert would be higher on this list, but you just know that Fields and newcomer Deontay Foreman, who rushed for 914 yards last season, will get a ton of carries as well. Number 22, Miles Sanders, Carolina Panthers. Sanders was 5th in rushing last season with 1,269 yards, helping the Eagles to a Super Bowl 57 appearance. Philly let Sanders walk to free agency, and he inked a 4-year deal with Carolina. But we're a bit skeptical about how Sanders will perform in Carolina. Philly has football's best O-line and could make any RB look good. How will Sanders perform behind a shaky Panthers offensive line with a rookie QB and Bryce Young? It's those questions that keep him out of the top 20 for now. Number 21, Jamir Gibbs, Detroit Lions. We thought the Lions would call today after signing David Montgomery, but they shocked the world by using number 12 pick in this year's draft on Gibbs. The Alabama product has yet to take a snap, but we're simply assuming that Dan Campbell will make this do-it-all workhorse the focal point of Detroit's offense. He exceeded 1,200 yards of offense in each of his last 2 college seasons, and the Lions must be expecting something similar of Gibbs this year, considering how early he was drafted. Number 20, DeAndre Swift, Philadelphia Eagles. Swift should be a fascinating fit in Detroit. He rushes for around 500 to 600 yards a season, but remains a consistent threat for 1,000 yards of offense. We would love to have Swift higher, but free agent pickup Rashad Penny, if healthy, could easily take over the starting duties from Swift. Number 19, Ramondre Stevenson, New England Patriots. The second-year product rushed for 1,040 yards and 5 touchdowns last season, taking over Damien Harris' spot as New England's lead RB. Stevenson was also a beast in the receiving game, racking up 69 catches for 421 yards and a touchdown. But as great as Stevenson is, there's no doubt in our mind that Bill Belichick will give Ezekiel Elliott a giant workload as well. Number 18, Joe Mixon, Cincinnati Bengals. Mixon's days as a top 10 running back are over, but he was still more than reliable for the Bengals last season. Despite missing 3 games, he had 814 yards rushing and 1,255 yards of offense and 9 total touchdowns. Joe Burrow has 3 prolific wideouts to feed the ball to, so Mixon's role will likely continue to reduce a bit here in 2023. But if he's healthy, he'll give Zach Taylor and fantasy football owners solid enough production to retain the RB1 spot. Number 17, Damien Pierce, Houston Texans. Pierce was one of the best draft steals of last year's class, recording 939 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns on a hapless Houston team. Had he not missed 4 games, Pierce just might have finished as a top 5 rusher. No reason to believe Pierce will regress in 2023. CJ Stroud can only be an upgrade over Davis Mills, so if anything else, Pierce's production should increase, especially in the receiving game. Number 16, Travis Etienne Jr., Jacksonville Jaguars. Etienne Jr. missed his entire rookie season, but came back with a force in 2022, rushing for 1,125 yards and 5 touchdowns, while also racking up 35 catches for 316 yards. Hey, kudos to Doug Peterson for unlocking the sky-high potential of both Trevor Lawrence and Etienne Jr. This is a pass-heavy offense in Duval County, but Etienne Jr. has the skill set to be a top 5 to 10 RB in short time. His encore should not disappoint. Number 15, J.K. Dobbins, Baltimore Ravens. He's only played 23 career games up to this point, but Dobbins has been an absolute beast when healthy. Dobbins has averaged a ridiculous 5.9 yards per carry through 2 seasons, totaling 1,325 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns. Pretty impressive when you consider that Lamar Jackson and Gus Edwards got plenty of carries too. Number 14, Dalvin Cook, New York Jets. The Vikings released Cook to save cap room, but we have little reason to believe he is past his best before date. Cook has rushed for over 1,100 yards in 4 straight seasons. Since 2019, only Derrick Henry has more rushing yards and rushing scores than Cook. The Jets are optimistic that Breece Hall will be ready for Week 1, so that's something we gotta monitor. But how could Robert Saleh not go with a 4-time Pro Bowler still in his prime as the lead RB? And with Aaron Rodgers captaining this offense, Cook will have a million opportunities to stuff the stat sheet across the board. Number 13, Naji Harris, Pittsburgh Steelers. Pretty impressive to see Harris put up strong numbers despite having a lackluster QB play to help him over each of the last 2 seasons. Harris hasn't missed a game and crossed 1,000 yards rushing in both 2021 and 2022, recording 14 total rushing TDs over that span. If Kenny Pickett can improve as a passer, it'll draw up more holes from the defense for Harris to exploit. It feels like peak Naji Harris has yet to arrive, so hey, maybe this is the year. Number 12, Kenneth Walker III, Seattle Seahawks. Walker came as advertised for Seattle, rushing for 1,050 yards and 9 TDs despite missing 2 games. Well, that's only going to be the start of something special for Walker, who should contend for the rushing title if it all comes together here in 2023. Number 11, Dijon Robinson, Atlanta Falcons. This might seem too high for a guy with 0 NFL snaps, but Robinson was viewed as the best RB in this draft for a reason. And there's also a logical explanation for Atlanta going off the board to take Robinson 8th overall. It's because the Falcons are coached by Arthur Smith, the innovative offensive master who has helped Derrick Henry, Cordarrelle Patterson, and Tyler Algier all emerge as all-star running backs. Atlanta has lined up Robinson at wide receiver too. You just know he's going to get a million touches in Smith's offense, even if Atlanta already has a 1K rusher in Algier on the roster. Robinson is definitely RB1, and he could even put up 500-something receiving yards here. Hey, buy the hype, fantasy players. Number 10, Tony Pollard, Dallas Cowboys. Pollard's potential is limitless. He led Dallas in rushing last season with 1,007 yards, despite having 38 less carries than Ezekiel Elliott. With the two-time rushing champion now gone, Pollard is the undisputed RB1 in Dallas. And playing behind a top 5 O-line? Yeah, who knows how much Pollard could go off here in 2023. Number 9, Aaron Jones, Green Bay Packers. This TD machine is third in rushing scores since 2019 with 25. Jones has been a model of consistency for the Packers with 3 1,000-yard seasons under his belt and 4 straight seasons of over 1K yards of offense. Aaron Rodgers may be gone, and A.J. Dillon will again get a plethora of carries as well. But we have got no reason to think that Jones' production will regress in 2023. Number 8, Alvin Kamara, New Orleans Saints. Kamara will be suspended for the first 3 games, but in terms of production and talent, he is still undeniably a top 10 RB. His carries will drop upon returning because of Jamal Williams' arrival, but Kamara will continue to make big-time plays in the ground and passing games. Number 7, Austin Ekeler, Los Angeles Chargers. Known more for his damage as a receiver, Ekeler has actually exceeded 900 yards rushing in each of the last 2 seasons. His 20 TDs from scrimmage in 2021 led the league, as did his 18 for the 2022 season. Ekeler is just a TD monster and game wrecker with the ball in his hands. Look, he's as reliable as they get. Number 6, Josh Jacobs, Las Vegas Raiders. It feels weird keeping the reigning rushing champion out of the top 5, but Jacobs simply isn't going to repeat his career year, especially with the Raiders downgrading at quarterback by going from Derek Carr to Jimmy Garoppolo. Jacobs also left the team after the two sides failed to reach an extension, so it remains to be seen if he'll actually show up for week 1. If he does, Jacobs will churn out his usual 1,000-something rushing yards and threaten for double-digit TDs. Number 5, Jonathan Taylor, Indianapolis Colts. The 2021 rushing champion missed 6 games last season, but still contributed 861 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. Taylor, of course, also put up over 1,000 yards rushing as a rookie in 2020. You know what you're getting with Taylor here. So here's to hoping that he stays on the field and stays healthy in 2023. Number 4, Saquon Barkley, New York Giants. After 3 straight seasons marred by injury, Barkley got healthy and returned to his all-world form with 1,312 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns. He will remain the focal point of the Giants' offense if healthy. The injury history is concerning, but Barkley's 2018 and 2022 seasons are reminders of what he is when he's on the field, a top 5 RB in the game. Number 3, Derrick Henry, Tennessee Titans. Henry missed 1 game but still finished with 1,538 yards rushing, second most in the league. If he played every contest, Henry could have been celebrating his 3rd rushing title in 4 years. Henry's still a beast who single-handedly takes over games. He'll push for over 1,500 yards and double-digit TDs as always. Don't expect his production to slow down here in 2023. Number 2, Nick Chubb, Cleveland Browns. Chubb played all 17 games last season, and lo and behold, he finished with a career-high 1,525 yards on the ground and 12 rushing TDs. Chubb gets a top 2 spot here because unlike Henry, Jacobs, et al., he is a monster in the passing game as well, having exceeded 1,100 yards of offense over each of his first 5 years. Just an absolute machine of a runner and a rare model of consistency for RBs in today's NFL. Number 1, Christian McCaffrey, San Francisco 49ers. And finally, Run CMC was healthy for the first time in 3 years and reminded everybody that he is the game's #1 running back when on the field. McCaffrey racked up 1,139 rushing yards and 8 rushing scores to go along with 85 receptions for 741 yards and 5 receiving TDs. Kyle Shanahan helped McCaffrey regain his first-team All-Pro-like form and remind the NFL that Run CMC is on his own level when it comes to active running backs. Cannot wait to see what he does in his first full season with San Fran. But what changes would you make to our rankings for all 32 #1 RBs? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.